Dear friends of the Violet Race Garage, today is time for an exciting and new topic. It's a topic that I got from the high frequency healing group, and they have been discussing about comp electrodes. And I think this is such an interesting field that I would like to give you my thoughts about comp electrodes. First one is, how do they look like? They look like comps. Like you can have them in blue or in lighter, and there are many, many of these little structures on the comps and less. And you see here, there's a big variety of these comps. At the right hand, you see the tephra brush, arterial brush electrode, um, also looking like a comp, but we'll come to this later. So this is a variety of comb electrodes that you see in your old devices or also in some newer ones. Okay, so now let's talk about comb electrodes. We have different kinds. This is such a tephra guy. You can do it like this here. You just place it slightly, gently on your head, and then you can move them. And here is such a normal, traditional comb electrode, very light, and you would do it like this. So different shapes and forms. Brush electrode. There are early examples from the 1920s, but this one I think is from 1960, 1970. They are produced by Tefra and are called arteries brush. Comb electrodes are easy to handle. You saw how to use them. Okay, where are the fields of application? My healing my healing group on Facebook was not so wrong when they said it's about hair care. Yes, it is also for hair care. There is the ozonization for the skin coming with these electrodes. There is also, which means a disinfection. There is also a stimulation of the cells, opening of the pores, and activation of of your scalp. So what the old handbook says here, um, you can recolor your hair. It will be changed back from gray. Here stands gray hair will, when treated consequently, get their natural color back. I'm not sure if this is true, but they say this needs 2 to 6 months. This is what the first thing says. The thing here says uh, any any illness on the skin of your scalp can be treated like this. Also, if you are very tired over the day, so there is added a little bit more function. Here is from a modern Tefra device. What they say about their electrodes, they differentiate between different colors for the comb electrodes. And here is the blue one is against inflammation and pains. The neon one is against the loss of the hair, and the red one and the red colored electrode is for the bladder, and it's also for patients that are in comatosis, that are in coma. Um, so you see the different functions and their understanding is widening. And here is what Tefra says about their artery brush. They say it will open the pores, it will decramp the muscles, it will regulate your metabolism, and you also can use this electrode for rheumatic difficulties. So you see there is a lot of traditional descriptions how these comps can be used. The artery brush you also can use on your arms and legs, everywhere where any kind of pain is. Um, yes, this was the perspective one. This is a more classical, normal perspective. You know that one of the persons that impressed me so much is Ewald Paul, and what makes him an outstanding visionary person for high frequency healing, I think he was 100 years too early, um, is the complete understanding of circulation, of connection in the bodies. His perspective is everything is linked with nearly everything, and by the hormones. There is a hormone circulation. There are a lot of circulations that you can influence with high frequencies. And the main point of these circulations are the endocrine glands. And the most important of the endocrine glands are placed in your head. This means the whole mastery central, the command central for a lot of functions that you cannot influence actively are driven by the endocrine glands in your head. And this is, I think, a very, very important point. If you say I'm trying to apply high frequency to these sensitive areas where the skin is extremely thin, where is a lot of communication of hormones ongoing in the head, and you can stimulate the production of these hormones, and you can heal the function of these endocrine glands with a gentle application of high frequency therapy. So this is for me the big difference of Ewald Paul to all the others. All the others have a more punctual, direct understanding, and this here is understanding the circulation, the inner functions on the body, and I want to give you more information to this. So here are the glands we are talking about. Sorry for my exclamation, this is difficult enough in German, but in English it's really complicated. We have the hypothalamus, we have the pineal gland, pituitary gland, and each of them has functions. The mastery of the body is done by the pituitary gland. This is the gland that directs the other glands, and therefore it has extremely important functions on regulations of thyroid, which is also causing a lot of problems. Adrenaline, the reproductive, the metabolism, the stress response, the fertility. This is mastered by the pituitary gland. So any difficulties in these areas can be caused by the pituitary gland and the organs that are connected in this hormone flow. So this is the first thing. The hypothalamus is important for the inner balance of the body. It's about hunger, thirst, its temperature, all things that also can go wrong, and they are led and managed and balanced by the hypothalamus. The pineal gland dictates the rhythm of the body when you are sleeping, how you react on light. Um, yes, what is your sleeping time? What are these, the times when you can provide a lot of energy? There are times when you have less energy, the body rhythm, and this is done by the pineal gland. So extremely important functions, and they also need support through high frequency healing. They also need gentle cell massages that they can get rid of their waste, and that they are active and good working. And I think this is the main thing about the second perspective, to have the glands running the endocrine glands running and in a good shape, that your organs have a good connections by hormones to this area. And therefore, the head is so important for our high frequency healing. Okay, thank you for your patience with me not knowing how to pronounce these names of the endocrine glands. Sorry for this. Um, Here are some hints on how to use the comb electrodes. The skin on the scalp is very thin. There's directly the bone coming, and there is a lot of blood flowing and a lot of hormones. So everything is very nearby, and therefore you work with lowest power, just lowest power, because everything is so sensitive there. If you feel that you can strengthen the power, just do it in small steps. Um, I normally am using not each device for my head, but device that can be regularly with a fine adjustment. I want to have a good control over the strength of the energy when it's flowing in my head. Um, just a slight contact, that's easy. Just a little bit contact to the skin. Don't go too far away, because if you are going too far away, there will be probably a painful experience. Um, This is when stopping the treatment. If you want to stop the treatment, first set the power to zero, that there is no energy flowing in this electrode, then remove it from the skin. And there is a hint that I read at Stefan from Two Towers. He told us to be sure that there is no alcoholic fluid in the hair. If you want to look beautiful and put some stuff in your hair, be sure that this stuff is not flammable. High frequency can ignite this stuff. So if you are in doubt, wash your hair before. That has this has a lot of positive effects. And one is this, that your high frequency treatment is a safe one. So a lot of information, I think. I'm happy to share this with you. If you have thoughts or comments, I would be happy to read them in the comment function. And now, have a very nice and brilliant and high frequent evening. Goodbye.